Hey everybody, today we're going to be making a Philly cheesesteak casserole. It's real simple to make. I've never had it, but it looks delicious. I've seen several different channels make their versions, and I have come up with what I think my family would like. So let's just get it put together and in the oven, and I'm sure it's going to be really good. So here's my pan. I've already boiled about 8 ounces of pasta, so you use whatever kind of pasta that you want. It doesn't really matter. So this is the garlic that I roasted, and I'm going to use some of the oil. I already had my pan on heating to saute these onions and peppers. And it's one fairly large green pepper that I cut and one fairly large onion. And I didn't cut these too small, but I didn't cut them real big either. So if you don't think that your family would want this much of the vegetables, then just make less. It's really what your family would like. But I always visualize Philly cheesesteak with having a lot of the peppers and onions in it. So this is going to cook for just a few minutes to get everything softened, and when that's done, I will be back. This has cooked the amount of time it needs to cook. Everything is sauteed about halfway through. It still has a little bit of fight left in it, but it's about where we need it to be. So I'm going to put this in a bowl. And then I have a little bit more of this mushroom. And I'm going to be using last steak, I'm going to use the whole pack, which is almost 2 pounds. You don't have to use this much, but I want it to be having a lot of meat in it. So I'm going to just put all this in, and if you've ever used this before, you know it doesn't take long for it to cook up. A little bit hard to work with. It's so thin. Where the pieces are still partially frozen, it's easier to get them off of this paper. And as I say, you do not have to put this much meat in it, but I wanted to make this really good with a lot of meat. And if you have a big family, you could just make more noodles and stretch it out for a real big meal or several smaller meals. And so there's our meat in there. Well, that just went everywhere, didn't it? So what we're doing now is just letting this all cook up and brown up, which should not take long at all. But while that cooks, I will go and I'll come back when it's gotten brown. So we have our meat all nice and browned up, and there's not really that much liquid on it. So I'm just gonna leave it, not worry about draining it. So now I want to add about a couple of tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. I don't want to get too much because you know that can overpower something, but with steak I think that would be really good. And then we're going to take a box, an 8-ounce box of cream cheese, and I cut it up and it stuck all to the knife. But we're going to put this in here and melt it. I meant to have this laying out and at room temperature, but I got the wrong thing out. But it won't take long with it being cut in small pieces and all. And I won't be using any spices or flavorings other than that garlic oil that I used. But if you would like to add something to yours, you know, just go right ahead. I'm sure there are a lot of things you could add that would make it really, really good. So that is about melted. Just another minute or two. And to that, I'm going to add a half cup of the water from the pasta. If you use that, it makes things creamier. And there's a noodle that I accidentally got in the cup. And the noodles I use were these quick cook. I didn't realize I had gotten the quick cook, but they do cook quick, and I'm afraid I might have cooked them just a little bit too long. Okay, I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is take several slices of the, what do you call the cheese that has a little hot pepper jack cheese? I'm going to add several slices of pepper jack cheese into it. I think that'll be really good. Probably about 5. Well, I got 6 out, so I'll just go ahead and use 6. So we want to stir this around and get our cheese melted up in our mixture. I'm gonna go ahead and cut the burner off. So it looks like our cheese is melted in there. And I'm going to add the peppers and onions back in. Give that a stir. Then I'm going to add our pasta. And this is going to cook in this pan. This is one thing I really like about this pan, is you can cook in it on top of your stove and then just stick it on in your oven. As you can see, this is making a big amount. And if this doesn't get eaten today and tomorrow, what's left I will put in my little individual size containers. And when somebody wants something to eat, they can grab one of those and just have them a meal. My son does that a lot with these. Well, that went flying. Okay, so now we want to kind of flatten it out a little bit. And I'm going to take some provolone cheese now and put it on top. And I've had this a while, so it's kind of stuck together. I might just break it up in pieces, would be the thing to do. We don't eat a lot of provolone cheese here, so that I have 2 packs of it, and I really don't know. I guess I needed it for a recipe at some point. But just lay it on or tear it up or whatever you want to do. But put it on top. And then here's the other pack. Maybe it will be a little bit better. This looks like it might be a little bit better about being able to keep it in the slices there. So this is it, and we're going to put it in the oven on 350 for about a half hour until it's nice and bubbly and the cheese is a light golden brown. So when that happens, I'll take it out of the oven. I'll let it sit just a few minutes to kind of where it won't fall apart when we serve it, and I will come back and we'll see what we have. The Philly cheesesteak casserole is finished, and I'm going to serve it up along with the rest of the supper, which is corn casserole and garlic bread. So I'll show you what it looks like, and it's set for a little while to firm up, and I think it looks so good. And so I'm gonna get a piece of it. It's got a lot of cheese in it, which is always good. Then, if you can see over here, is the corn casserole. And I really love corn casserole. So I'm going to put a piece of that on there. And then here is the garlic bread. And I'll just cut a piece. This is Randy's plate. So let me scoot that over a little bit. So this is supper tonight. The Philly cheesesteak casserole, corn casserole, and garlic bread. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm still not able to take a taste because of my dental work, but I hope that this looks good to you, and I hope that you give it a try and have a wonderful evening, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.